What is going on, everybody? We are doing our first YouTube live video. We are going to show everybody the camper. We're going to go inside, outside, and we are just going to give it a few seconds to get everybody on here. We are starting 3 minutes early. All right, there we go. All right, we got one person on here. We're going to give it about 2 more minutes. Let's see. It is beautiful outside in Arizona today. I'm sitting out here in shorts and I have like black athletic pants on and I am burning up. All right. Gonna give it just a couple more minutes. I thought Easton was going to be a part of our like tour with us, but he is very tired, so he's inside watching TV. Let's see. This is my first time doing... Oh, let's see. I see comments. Awesome. This is my first time doing a live video, so we are going to learn together. Let's see. Hello, Brian. What is going on? Gonna give it just another quick second and then we'll be done waiting for people. Oh, awesome. I'm really happy that you got one of those Hero Link bracelets. Those things are amazing. My mom is on. Hello. This is cool. I've never done a live video before. All right. We are going to go ahead and get started. So what is going on? My name is Jen, and this is Raising Roamers. My family of 3 plus 2 dogs moved into a camper. Man, I guess it's been like September, I think is when we moved in there. We had about 2 months worth of truck issues, so we were in Missouri for a long time still, and eventually got to come out here to Arizona. We are in the high desert of Arizona. We are like kind of like 3 hours from Phoenix, 3 hours from Albuquerque, so like smack in the middle. We're literally like less than 30 minutes away from Petrified Forest National Park, so we love that. And it's nice being able to like literally have a national park in our backyard. We went to the national park, crazy story. We went to the national park and there is a stop there called Newspaper Rock. It's on like the map, and they have like these little like, you know, those old like binocular looking things that you could put like a quarter in and then you could like see through it or whatever. Well, these ones you don't have to put a quarter in it, but when you look at them, it's meant to look down because they have petroglyphs there. But if you look up, you can actually see our campsite from there, which is crazy. So that was a really neat experience. But let's go ahead and get started with this camper tour. So we did buy a camper off of Facebook Marketplace and we bought a truck off of Facebook Marketplace. The truck we had horrible luck with, not good. But the camper we've had very good luck so far. So let's show you around and make sure to drop your questions in the comments. I am starting to be able to see them now. So definitely drop your questions in the comments and then I will be able to answer them for you. Where are you from? We are originally from Missouri, born and raised in St. Louis. We both ended up about 2 hours south of there when we were teenagers, going to college, things like that. So we lived there for about 10 years and now we are in the high desert of Arizona. So this is a 2017 Forest River Vibe. The owners that we had before this had renovated it. So it looks amazing on the inside and I cannot wait to show you, but we're going to do a quick lap around the outside first. So outside we have, this is kind of what our view is at the moment. And we have this like fire pit set up. We have cornhole. We got all this stuff for our son to play outside. We have a 2-year-old toddler and we have an outdoor kitchen, which really needs a little TLC right now, but we haven't been able to use it because it's been so windy here in Arizona, but we are able to use it now, which is awesome. So we have a Blackstone, a sink, and a bunch of storage up there, and that secures. We have room for a mini fridge too. We don't currently have one, but we want to add one really soon. We have a grill that we've been using outside, and let's go around to the back. So let's see, where do you live? We live in northern Arizona. We live 35 minutes away from the closest town, which is Holbrook, Arizona. It's right off of Route 66. Very, very, very popular. But just to show you really quick, so I came around. So this is where our black tank and our gray tanks get emptied. So we are at an up and coming campground. So they are in the process of putting in a septic tank. So eventually this will be very, very smooth where we get to drain our black water. It goes directly into a septic tank, but pretty much at the moment we have to use these little like mobile things. So they get, basically we empty the black tanks, they go into the mobile tanks, and then those get taken somewhere else. Luckily we don't have to do that terribly often. And over here we have our outdoor shower, which we really haven't gotten to play with yet because the wind out here is insane. But this is basically how we hook our water up. The camper itself does not hold a ton of water. I think it's I'm not even gonna say a number because I'm totally blanking on it, but it'll last us a few days without having to like hook up external water to it. So like if we ever want to camp and just relax, we can totally do that and like not have any connections at all because we can hold black water, we can hold gray water. And basically the difference is the black water is what's coming out of the toilet, the gray water is like what's coming out of the sink and things like that. And then this is obviously our fresh water. So this is what we use for everything. And we have this other tank over here where we're able to like fill it from. So this works out really, really well where we only have to refill water like once a week, and it's really not bad at all. We do have to be really careful if we know that we're low on water to take shorter showers, or to like, we have to be really careful when we wash our dishes. Like I tend to like scrub the dishes and then just spray it real quick, things like that. But you can't just like let the water run. Like I didn't even think about like letting water run, like brushing my teeth and stuff until we moved into a camper. So we just have to be really careful about it or else we'll drain that water really, really fast. This is where our propane tanks are for our heat. We have propane heat, we have propane stove, propane oven, things like that. Someone asked, do you ever come to India? I actually travel overseas a lot. I've been to 11 countries so far. I've not been to India yet. I guess the closest I've been is probably Israel, so not very close. And I'm 28, my husband's 29, and our toddler is 2. One more thing outside before we head inside. We have this storage compartment, and it runs the entire length of the camper. So like my husband has a bunch of his tools under there, and then like when we travel we have like our chairs that go under there, the cornhole boards, things like that. And let's go on in. So here's the inside of our camper. So we are going to start with, over here we have our control panels. This is how we get our slides in and out. We have 3 slides on this camper. We have this slide, and then we have 2 in our son's room that I'll get ready to show you. And then we can also monitor like our battery level, our water levels, like our fresh water is full and things like that. So that's really helpful. We can turn the water pump on and off, the water heater on and off. And we have indoor lights and outdoor lights, which is awesome. This is a compartment that we have for our shoes. And then they installed like string lights. Yeah, you can see them pretty good. They installed like these string lights all the way around our counter. So we have that. Over here, this is where my son is right now. This is our bedroom. So there's Easton. Say hi. Good job. Easton's watching TV at the moment, but this is me and my husband's room. We each have our own closet over here, and this is from our wedding. How cute is that? That's my bouquet all dried up. Daddy's working still. And we have storage under here. So I tried to like put these things on here for our shoes, and it kind of works, but not as well as I wanted it to. But there's a piece of plywood under here that I don't know if you can really see or not really, but this whole mattress lifts up and we have a bunch of storage underneath there, so that's really cool. We do have a stereo system, so we can turn it on and play music. We have 3 different sections. We basically have like the front of the camper, the back of the camper, and outside, so we can listen to music whenever we want. We totally deep cleaned this place yesterday, and it was so nice to be able to have the music going too. Someone asked where are we from. We're originally from Missouri, and we're in Arizona right now, but we have storage under here. And this is a really, really cool part. So we have one TV in the camper, and it's right here. We have our bedroom that we watch it from sometimes, and we have our living room that we watch it from sometimes. So we literally can take this. Hello. and we can turn the TV around, and now we can watch it in the living room. So it's really nice that we don't have to like get a second TV or anything. It's super easy. Hello. And we put it back over here, and we can just snap it back on, and it stays really secure while we're moving too. And then if you guys are wondering, we have, hello. So this is like kind of what the closet looks like. It's pretty decent size, so not too small. All right, and then this is our kitchen. And the one thing that I would change about our kitchen is I would love for it to be a little bit bigger. Our fridge and freezer feel like it's super full. It feels like we like just fill it up so fast. And our sink feels really small too. But other than that, I really love this kitchen. Like I said, the stove and the oven are both propane. Up here we have bowls, plates, cups, all like your necessities. We have this is one of our wedding centerpieces. I'm obsessed. I love that this folds down because I can use it as extra counter space if I am not using it. And then if I am using it, all I have to do is fold it up, and then I can use the burners. We have a very strong magnet for our knives here. I've never had an issue with them falling off during transport, which has been awesome. We have silverware in here. We have like miscellaneous like accessories and stuff in there. And under here we have our pots and pans. And we have like cleaning supplies and things like that in here, as well as like tin foil, saran wrap, stuff like that. Next, moving on to our living room, one of my favorite parts of this entire camper. So we have a ridiculous amount of storage. So this whole thing is storage right here. Under here we have our crock pot and our blender that we use quite a bit. And then this entire thing, like the rest of it, all the way under here, and on this side is all outdoor equipment. We are huge outdoorsy people. We hike, we camp, all of that kind of stuff. So we have tents, sleeping bags, we play softball. So we have like a bucket of softballs under here. Just all kinds of random outdoor equipment is like what lines up this entire thing. My husband likes fishing, so there's fishing rods under there. But everything that basically would normally go in a garage fits under here now. So we love that. We have some really good storage up here. And this is our game closet where we have a bunch of games. We're a very competitive family, so we love playing games with each other. Then over here, we got our wedding picture, a couple pictures of Easton. This is a massive pantry. So it's crazy because like looking at it, it looks really big, but then somehow we still managed to fill it up really fast, and I just don't understand. Hey, what are you doing, buddy? Go back to TV. This is our bathroom. So something that's interesting, what are you doing? You coming with me? Oh, hold on, baby. So this is our bathroom, and this is our toilet. So something that I thought that was really interesting when we moved in here is that the toilet doesn't have water in it, and we flush it with our foot, and that's it. So it's kind of cool to, like, it's crazy to think how much water we waste in a house, and like I love not wasting water here. We do have these clips for our broom and our mop. This is another one of our wedding centerpieces. Our sink. We have a little bit of storage, not a ton. We have like these hooks and your Paw Patrol vitamins. You're right. And we have these hooks here, which I haven't really found anything to use those for. I'm thinking about like hanging up cute plants there or something. We have a vent, so when we take a hot shower, we can vent it. This is Easton's training potty. He's working on going potty on it, but hasn't quite gotten that down yet. So that's how we train. We do have a full shower in here. With like a skylight and a mirror and things like that. Coming into the camper, like when we first started camper life, we were having a heck of a time with the shower because we were so busy trying to conserve water that like the temperature kept changing. Hold on, baby. But we figured it out now. We kept turning the water on and off, which kept changing the temperature, but now we are good. And then this is my favorite part of our camper. So we have dogs. We have Skies, this one, and this is Chunk. Up here is our disaster area right now. We have just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff up here. We have our luggage up here. We have some rugs that we can put down on the floor for when it gets really cold in here, so Easton's not cold playing and things like that. This sign came from his nursery. We have a bunch of stuff that came from his nursery. This is our coat closet. This is one of my favorite things in the entire camper. We have, every time we go somewhere, we get a pin for him, and we write the date on the back of it, and then we put it on here. So I love, love, love watching this grow, and it's almost to the point where I'm going to have to buy him a second one already. We came across this totally on accident. hold on, baby. We came across this totally on accident. We got this at Disneyland, and then we went to a park right after that, and we saw that they sold these buttons, so we bought one. And then when we got on the flight to come home, a pilot gave us the wings, and we're like, okay, I guess we're just collecting pins now. So that's what we started doing. This is one of my favorite purchases as a mom. We got this before he was born. It hung over his crib, and we keep it. We have a washing machine and dryer. It is a piece of junk and will be going to the trash can very soon. It just doesn't work. It leaks. Close that, please. It leaks and is just not good. And then these are his toys. So we took this bookshelf from his nursery and these cubbies from his nursery, and this was initially, so you have like one bunk over here, and then you have this bunk, and then we have a third bunk. So there, behind this stuff, there's actually another bunk, and we have it folded up right now, and we have all this stuff in front of it, so he has plenty of room to play. He has plenty of toys to play with. We like that this looks clean right now because he's very quick to make it a mess. You gonna play basketball? Oh, good job. Good, nice, buddy. And then this is where he sleeps. So, he has his bed, his blankets, his stuffed animals, and things like that. Then we have this netting to prevent him from falling out. So we have nails and staples that were all the way across the perimeter. And then over here, all we have to do to put him to sleep is we take this, pull it really tight, put it over this nail and this hook, and then like it's really secure. He has actually in the past rolled off of this and like has just been like laying here, and it kept him really, really good. So we know that it's strong and secure and things like that. Oh, you're knocking things over. But yeah, that is pretty much everything that we have in here. I would love to answer any questions you guys have. We're gonna get you something. We're gonna get you something. Come outside with me for a minute. I would love to answer any questions you guys have. If there's anything that you guys want to see again, definitely drop them in the comments. We have adored living in camper life. It has been a big transition for us. We have had different hurdles and different obstacles and things like that, but overall we have made it. Easton. Okay, hold on just a second. But we had a lot of transition. Again, our biggest hurdle that we faced was our truck. So that was really hard to overcome because when your truck doesn't work, you can't move your home. And when you can't move your home, that can lead to some really stressful situations. Our truck had broken down and it was literally on the side of an interstate in Arkansas. And I'm just sitting there watching it gosh, I really hope our home doesn't get rear-ended. And it was so stressful. Hold on, buddy. Put those back, please. I'll be there in just a second. How long do you stay in one place? That is an excellent question. So we are work campers. So basically we work at campsites and we get paid and we live there for free. So right now, we do not pay any kind of rent or mortgage or anything like that. And my husband works full-time here pretty much. So he does a lot of the maintenance, a lot of the there's vintage campers here on the property, so he renovates them, he gets them ready for the next guests, things like that. I do part-time, I do their social media and marketing, but I have another marketing job that I've had for a really long time. So I work anywhere between 10 and 20 hours a week, and my husband works between 30 and 40 hours a week. So basically the agreement that we have here is for 6 hours of work, we get to stay here for free, and then we get paid for every hour after that. So only one of us has to do those 6 hours to be able to live here, and then we get paid, both of us do, for the rest of the hours. So it works out really, really nice. So to answer your question, we were actually able to extend our contract here if we wanted to. We had 90 days here. We had all these plans with this truck where we were going to go drive on the coast and go see a bunch of places and things like that. And then when the truck issues happened, we didn't get to do any of that. So we were really eager to relocate, but it's not because we didn't like it here by any means. It's just because we wanted that change of pace again. So we were here for the winter basically. We got here in late November. We will be here till March or April. We don't quite have an exact date yet. And then we will be relocating for the summer. And that assignment is about a 6-month contract, I believe. And then we get to find what we do next winter. And so it's been really great traveling with the weather. It's been a huge difference for us. I remember last year in Missouri, there was snow and ice and all this stuff. And we totally just, hold on, buddy. Buddy, he's holding chocolate chips in his hand right now. Can you go put those back in the fridge, please? Yes, sir. But but yeah, so it's cool to travel with the weather. Last year there was snow and ice and it was cold, and I definitely was like struggling with seasonal depression. And like this year I have not had that experience, which has been amazing. Says, do you miss firefighting stuff? And yes. So my husband and I, before we left, both volunteer firefighters. We've been on the same department together for about 5 years. He had done a stint at a full-time fire department. I did a stint at a full-time police department. And so we're first responders through and through. We miss it a lot. So our intention was to get on a department out here, but we are 35 minutes away from anything. And even the closest fire departments were really far away. So we do, like, our next assignment is going to be a more centralized location. So we are already planning on reaching out to them before we even get there, saying like, hey, here's what we're all certified in. We would love to get back on a department. So we really hope that come summer we will be back on a department. Hopefully this was just a few months off for us, because we both do really miss it a lot. My husband wants to go back to full-time one day down the road, and things like that. And I would love to go back. I've done a little bit of everything. I was a police officer, then I've done volunteer firefighter, EMT, worked on an ambulance for a little bit. I've worked in dispatch. So I would love to get back into the first responder world in some shape or form, hopefully once we get to our next assignment. But yeah, it's just a little bit hard here because we are just so out in the middle of nowhere. But it'll be nice to get kind of back into civilization. But that's an awesome question. Easton, I need you to go put those back, please. Yes, sir. Here, give them to mommy. Get your shoes out of the cabinet and you can come out here with me. No. Not with those. It looks like you already ate a bunch of them. But yeah, what other questions do you guys have about our camper? We can show you anything about the camper and answer any questions. We did have to sell our home to be able to buy this camper and the truck and things like that. So we experienced everything involving selling a house and buying this camper. Oh, buddy. And raising toddlers on the road. So one of the reasons that we call this Raising Roamers is because traveling to me, and I've always been in love with traveling, but my husband is slowly coming on board. We've been together about 7 years. I gotta put my son's shoes on. But we've been together for 7 years now. And before we met, he had never been out of the Midwest before. And now he has been to 7 countries. He's been to like half the states. I've been to all 50 states. I've been to 11 countries. So he's doing so much better than traveling than he ever did. I never thought I would see him travel as much as he does now. But anyway, so traveling in general just is so important to us in like our parenting philosophy, as far as like, for me, traveling personally has introduced me to just like different parts of myself that I never would have known existed had I not traveled. I mean, something about being like, I've been to Machu Picchu and I've been like riding on camels in the Sahara Desert, and like all of these, just like those once in a lifetime moments that you never think you're gonna have, just like literally shape who you are. And I don't want my son to ever feel that he's limited on things or that he can't conquer his dreams. And like, I want to show him those things and like show him us accomplishing our dreams so he can accomplish his own dreams one day too. So parenting on the road has actually been awesome. I mean, we're literally able to come outside. I'll show you the view that we have. I mean, we are just literally out here in the middle of the desert. And okay, you could play with most things, but not the fire stick. But he's literally out here able just to like play with rocks and play cornhole and climb on his things. Can you show them how you ride your bike? Go ride your bike. But we're able just to like let him be free. And like, we are going to homeschool him whenever he is of age. 2 right now. He will be 3 in September. And I'm going to homeschool him. Like, there's so many reasons why people like decide to homeschool. I think our personal reason is like, we don't think that kids should just be in a building for 8 hours a day, and like just being able to like teach him what he needs to learn while like also getting to let him explore and feel the world around him and like learn real world things, like help us work and like do, he loves going grocery shopping and he learns so much grocery shopping. So definitely just trying to get him more of those like real world, like hands-on experience kind of thing. How did your parents feel about your idea of going on the road and having Easton away from them? I think those are 2 totally separate questions. So they're totally cool with us being on the road with him. They are bummed that it's so far away from Missouri. They definitely miss him, but we do everything that we can to stay in touch. And my parents just shipped him a massive box of a lot of toys that he has in the camper now. So we do everything we can to stay in touch. And our next assignment, we're not quite ready to like throw it out there where we're going yet, but it is closer to Missouri than Arizona. So I guess there's a little hint. So they'll be able, you're gonna go back inside? All right. So they are going to be able to see him more often than they do now. Tyler and I actually got a permit for this crazy hike, Havasupai Falls. It is in the Grand Canyon. It's 10 miles down and 10 miles up in the course of 4 days. Easton, he's still taking these chocolate chips. Buddy. Oh, okay, no more. That is a lot. Thank you. Taking the chocolate chips with me. But we got this permit for Havasupai Falls, which I'm super stoked about. And my sister's actually going to fly out and watch him for that while we're gone. So that'll be good because they haven't seen him. We did fly home for Christmas, so they haven't really seen him since Christmas. So my sister's really excited for that, and my parents are super jealous. So we are excited for that. What day in September is he going to be 3? He's going to be 3 on September 23rd, and today's February 23rd, so a month from now he will be 2.5, which is crazy to think about. Hold on, buddy. But yeah, we have overall just adored living in a camper. It has been, so funny story too. So we were getting rid of our things. We were selling our camper, or selling our house, I mean, and we were downsizing our things, and we thought that we had everything under control, and we totally did not. It was the night before we were closing on the property, and we ended up having to be at the house until like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, something crazy like that, just unloading our things because it was that, buddy, put that down. Because the every time we like opened up a cabinet or opened up a closet or something like that, like we found more things that we forgot that we had. So being in a camper, like everything has a purpose. We have, like, we know what we have, we know exactly where it is, and like the camper totally like turns into a disaster still, especially with a toddler that clearly can't like sit still for even this like 25-minute video. But so the camper like turns into a disaster, but we know that we know what we have, we know that everything has a purpose, and it is so freeing to just not have all of this clutter all the time. And we are constantly cleaning the camper, but like I didn't realize how much money we had spent on things that we literally don't care about because we literally forgot that we have them. What are you doing? You cannot have more chocolate chips. No, you just had a bunch, baby. You cannot have 5. Hey, go see if you can get the bags in the cornhole. In the hole. Or are you gonna go ride your bike? What do you want to tell them? You want to say hi? Say hi. No? Okay. You cannot have these chocolate chips. Please go play. No, sir. I gotta go put them back. Hey, Easton. Buddy, go on. Oh boy. It is nap time if you can't tell. Oh no. But anyway, so it's been so freeing to not have all of these just like unnecessary items because you spend so much time and effort like dealing with them. So it's nice to just not have that. My cousin is 5 and she got the same birthday as him. That's pretty cool. Oh, almost has the same birthday as him. That's awesome. My due date was September 21st, so he came 2 days past his due date, which was lovely. Have you thought about getting a Starlink and solar panels? So we are actually just now learning about solar. Easton's mad, so he's walking away from me. His dad's working in that camper right now, so I guess he's going to go give his daddy a visit. But these are actually a bunch of solar panels right here. These do not belong to us. They belong to the campground. So it works out good because we didn't know anything about solar coming in here, and now, my husband's job, he's starting to like learn a little bit about solar panels. So it's definitely something that we are considering adding in the future. Starlink, we haven't needed it yet. So we do, since we are first responders, we do have FirstNet. So our phones have hotspots on them. And it is great when we're stationary, when we're on the road traveling, it can be difficult. And since I do work from home, I would love to get something like Starlink. So I can just have like a solid internet connection all the time, because there's often times where my husband has to drive and I'm just sitting in the passenger seat working. And so that has to happen quite a bit. But yeah, so we are learning a lot more about that side of things because it's something that we never knew about. FirstNet is AT&T. Yes, AT&T came out with a FirstNet program. I was still a police officer, so it was probably like 2018, 2019, something like that. And it's been really good. Like the like, it's not expensive whatsoever, and the whole purpose of FirstNet was to be able to, like, if there's a mass situation or a natural disaster or things like that and people are limited to the towers, it gives first responders the first access to the towers so we can get a hold of each other and like make sure that things are okay from that standpoint. So that is the purpose of FirstNet. They have not gotten to that phase of things yet, so it's literally just a different like AT&T service that we pay for or whatever. But yes, that is the purpose of FirstNet. This has been awesome. I gotta do these live videos more often. I've never done this before. Yeah, here you guys can see Easton is, he just walked right into that camper with his daddy. This is actually the camper that our supervisor stays in, and she's coming back today. She kind of travels back and forth between another home, so she's coming back, and I think Tyler's getting the camper ready for her return today. Have you been able to keep up with Team Rubicon being on the road? Okay, so I love Team Rubicon. Team Rubicon is a natural disaster response organization where volunteers get deployed to natural disasters and do all kinds of things. I was very involved with Team Rubicon when we lived in Missouri. When we came out here to Arizona, we didn't know how long we were going to be here. So I looked into different things like that, but since we are like getting ready to leave within the next month or two, we'll probably wait until we get back to Colorado. But I do oh my gosh. Oop, I said something I shouldn't have said. That's okay. So when we get to our next destination, we're going to look into that since we know that we will be there longer. But I miss it a ton. I do change my address on there all the time. So when the deployments happen, I get notified of like the close by ones. So that is really good. So I do keep up with that from that standpoint where like I'm keeping my name in the right hat. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with that. What other questions do people have? I'm like always so curious because like we had wanted to live in a camper for a very long time. I guess I can talk about that. So we wanted to live in a camper for two totally different reasons, me and my husband. Or I guess that's kind of how we like came to the conclusion that we were going to live in a camper. Before this, my husband was in retail management and he was constantly working, and it was constantly like, it was a reliable income, like for sure, but like nothing else about it was reliable. Like he worked 5 minutes away from home, and I joked all the time with him. I'm like, I've never met anyone that works 5 minutes away from home and comes home an hour late every day. And like he would just get tied up with everything all the time. And so I was bummed because he was on paper for 50 hours a week. So like he was already working 10 hours a week over what he was supposed to be working. And then like if he stays late, like it's beyond that. So like I was home alone working from home with a baby at the time, working 50 hours a week. And I just like felt so like I felt like a single mom, even though I was happily married. Like I am very happily married. And it was just really hard because it's like every time there would be something happy happening, like our son would conquer a milestone or he would just do something cute, and like it would make me so happy. But like part of me was also really sad because my husband wasn't there to see it. And like I know he can't just be home with me all the time by any means, but just having that feeling over and over and over and over and over again. Because like at first I kept telling myself like, oh, he'll catch the next cute moment, and then like the next cute moment happened and he didn't catch that one either. And it was just such a rough like place to be mentally. So I was really, really happy that we were able to move into a camper, because at first I'm like, you know what, we're working so hard for this house and like we don't even get to spend time in it together. And at that point, like, why do we have it? Like, why do we have this big house with this big mortgage, with this big water bill, with this big electric bill, if it's literally just me and my son living in it most of the time? So that was where it came from my perspective. My husband, on the other hand, he was trying to apply for promotions within that retail store, thinking that like it would make life a little bit better, a little bit smoother. He was applying for these promotions and just was being treated horribly. Like he would have these interviews and people would tell him how great that he did in them. And then he'd be like, hey, like, if I didn't get the job, what can I do to do better? And they would just flat out ignore him. And he got tired of like, hey, why am I working for a company that doesn't even value me as a human being? And like, it was just so difficult for him. And like, he was just coming to terms with like, we're staying here for a job. He was applying for jobs like in other states. And so like, he's like, if we want to move to another state, like I shouldn't let my job be the only thing that prevents us from getting there. So that was like his motivation. Like, hey, we still want to do these life goals. Like we still have these things that we want to do. Like, let's just do them and we'll figure the job thing out later. So that's kind of where he came from. So it was weird because like, I had felt like a single mom, happily married, like for a long time, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, like, you know, this company isn't treating me very good, like maybe it's time to move. So like we literally like hit our like light bulb moments, I guess, like kind of close to the same time, and then we just did it. Like it was such a crazy conversation the first time, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, like that'd be cool in theory, but like, you know, are you guys actually gonna do it? And like the fact that we actually did it, like I'm so proud of ourselves for doing it, and like it has paid off. Like we do get to see each other more. We usually, so like every day we get to eat breakfast and dinner together, and like that was unheard of. Like we wouldn't even always get one meal together a day, like when he was working at the retail store. So like it is just so nice to be able to do that together. um let's see, outside of the issues at first with your truck, what has been the most challenging thing you've had? That's a great question. So since we are at an up and coming campground, our utilities aren't as steady as they will be at our next destination. We have so we have like this water tank that I showed you guys, which we have to fill up. We have the propane that we have to fill up. We have we had a generator which broke also, that we had to always fill up with gas, and the stuff would just run out at the most inconvenient times. Like I can't tell you how many times. Like, so it's very nice here during the day. It's like 60s, but at night it still gets to like 20s. So propane heat is important. Oh, my supervisor's dog just, hi, I'm on a live video. Oh, I'm on a live video at the moment. I'm sorry. I'll be out there in just a few minutes. Oh gosh, our dogs are going crazy. Hey, quit. So I cannot tell you how many times my husband has had to go outside in the middle of the night to change a propane tank. And then there's been a few times where we go to change the propane tank or get gas or something like that, and we realize we don't have any. And since we are 35 minutes away from the closest town, that means that we have to drive 35 minutes each direction just to go get something like that. So 1,000% like keeping up with the utilities. We are in a much better routine now. Like if I'm going to town to go grocery shopping, I'll just take a gas can with me, even if it's not empty, just to like top it off. And so like that has been really, really good for us. But but yeah, at first that was a huge transition for us. What happened to the piano? I adore my piano. So my parents, oh my gosh, my dog is loud. My parents, they are gracious enough to let us store a few of those like sentimental things at our house, or at their house. So like the house that I grew up in like has like our piano, and it has some of Easton's nursery furniture, and like I'm trying to think of what else we sent over there. We had like I had like a box that I like used to show Tyler that I was pregnant, and it had like little baby booties in it and like different things like that, and like so like that box went over there. We had another box that had like wedding stuff in it, so that went over there. So like some of those like sentimental things are just sitting in my parents' basement. It was crazy though, because when we were selling our house, we basically like split everything up. So it's like, what are we throwing away? What are we donating? What are we bringing to my parents' house? And what's going into the camper? So like we just had these 4 like mountains going on in our house. But yes, a lot of it did go to St. Louis to my parents' house. And if we ever have a house again, it was so funny. So like my husband was so dead set on having this like massive house forever. Like even when we moved like our most recent time from house to house, like he's the one that wanted the big house. I always said that I would just live in an apartment and travel, and like that doesn't bother me at all, but he's always wanted a house. And even he is to the point now where he's like, you know, like I don't know if I ever need a huge house again. Like he wants a home base, he wants land. Like we'll settle down and stop moving from season to season at some point, and like but I think we are going to either keep living in a camper or like have like a really small house. We care way more about the outside, so like we are gonna have you know, like we want all these amenities and stuff outside, but like the house itself isn't gonna be very big, and like we're more than okay with that. It's actually a dream of ours to start our own campground one day, and we are learning like at all of these assignments that we are going to be at, we are learning like what we need to do. Like this is an up and coming campground, so like we've seen a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff at the very beginning, you know, like things like that. And then the next campground we're going to is one that's very established and has been around for a long time. Like right now we have 2 campers that are rentable right now, and then there's a bunch of campers coming in that are going to be renovated to be rented out and stuff, and that's here. But in the next place that we're going to, they have like 70 spots, I think, where like people can bring their campers to. They have cabins, they have like I think they have like a little restaurant, they have gift shops. Like, it's gonna be a whole different change of pace. So to be able to like start at the startup campground and learn things, and then also be able to go to like a very established campground and learn from them, that's gonna be really cool. So I'm like really excited to kind of take like these bits and pieces from all these different campgrounds and like really learn how to make our own one day. And it's cool because like this work camping thing is a whole program. So like we like are a part of this program where we are seeking jobs through work camping, and if we're able to make that full circle and like eventually seek out work campers, like I think that's just going to be such a moment, and that'll be like really, really neat. Any more babies in the future? We want one more. We don't know when. We don't know really anything more than that, but like we do want one more at the moment. If you ask Easton, he wants the next one to be a girl, so I have no control over that, but that's what Easton's asking for. What other questions do you guys have about camper life? It's crazy because it's like I feel like I was the one having all these questions like 6 months ago, and now here I am trying to answer other people's questions. I feel like I'm like, it's crazy to go that fast and be like certified to be able to like answer these questions for you guys. Oh, Easton's coming back. What are you doing? Do you want to come say hi now? Oh, are you about ready to go to bed? Yeah, you gonna play in your room? Oh, he's kicking a ball. Does anyone have any other questions before I hop off of here? I have to do these live videos more often. Let's try that. What topics do you guys want to learn more about? From camper life to traveling. I have been to all 50 states. I've been to 11 countries. You can go back in there and watch TV. Help you get back on mommy and daddy's bed. Take your shoes off first. Thank you. Well, let's see. Yeah, so I've been to all 50 states. I fell in love with traveling completely on accident. I went to college, moved 2 hours away from St. Louis to go to college, and it was 4 days into it. So like you say those like emotional goodbyes and you go through this big life transition and stuff, you know, and then 4 days later we had a water main break and they told everybody to go home. Well, before that happened, I was at freshman orientation, and they had that at the rec center, and so they had all these booths. You want me to put you back on the bed? Okay, come here. Oh, say hi.
Hi.
Good job.
I want in Mom and Dada's bed.
You're gonna watch TV in Mom and Dada's bed? Have fun. But so I went to freshman orientation, and they had all these booths for the different clubs that the university had and things like that. And since it was at the rec center, the rock climbing wall was up and going, and they actually were having people climb. So I got to climb and have a really good time. And like I had climbed indoor before and like wanted to get more involved. And so when I went and stopped by the booth, I had a phenomenal time, and it was just a great experience. So when the water main broke, these people that I met 4 days ago were like, hey, we're going to drive 6 hours to the middle of nowhere and go rock climb if you want to come. So I got in the car with a bunch of strangers, went rock climbing, and it was the first time I climbed outside. It was the first time I slept in a tent. It was the first time I cooked a meal outside. Like, everything about it was just like so awe-inspiring and like just so life-changing that like that's how I fell in love with traveling. So a couple years later, we went on this like 10-day road trip. There were 16 of us in 4 cars. We went from Missouri. We got all the way out to California. We did a bunch of national parks in between. And it was just like the coolest thing I've ever done. So I fell in love with traveling. I made it to my 50th state. So but before I found out I was pregnant, I had been to 49 states, and the only one that I was missing was Hawaii. So when I found out I was pregnant, like obviously there's so much emotion, so much like to process with all of that. And then as soon as I had processed it all, I'm like, hey, Tyler, I'm missing one state. It's very far away. It's Hawaii. And I like, if we don't do this now, I don't know if I'm ever gonna do it anytime soon. So like we should go to Hawaii while I'm pregnant. So we went to Hawaii when I was 3 months pregnant. It was like before we found out like the gender and everything. So like we went out there, had a great time. It was crazy because we done Diamond Head, which is a really cool hike near Honolulu, and it was phenomenal. But like that's when it hit me that I was pregnant, because like when I'm not pregnant, that hike should have been very doable, very easy, and I was so out of breath like the entire time. And like I was just not prepared for that. And like, I remember just like it smacking me in the face, like, oh my gosh, I actually am pregnant. Like, this isn't working very well, because I didn't have a whole lot of symptoms before that. But we had a great time in Hawaii, got to come back, and like, that's when we hit like that 12-week mark. So like, knew that we were like, like the dangerous phase of pregnancy was over. So like, and so like, we started telling people that I was pregnant when we got back and stuff, and it was just like such a fun way to be like, hey, we knocked out this accomplishment of getting all 50 states, and now, hey, by the way, we're pregnant and stuff. So it was just such a cool like little series of events, and I'm so happy that we got to do it that way. Does anyone else have questions? I guess so the 11 countries I've been to Canada, Mexico, been to Peru, which is my favorite, been to Israel, been to Germany, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Portugal and Morocco. That should be 11. Yeah. If I could convince my husband to move to Portugal, I would go to Portugal so fast. It's funny because like, Peru's my favorite, but like, Peru's like very underdeveloped. There's a huge language barrier. A lot of people there don't speak English. So like, I don't think I could ever live there. I really want to take my boys there though. They haven't been. I went on like a group trip, but like, so while Peru's my favorite, I wouldn't really live there probably, but like, everyone spoke English, the food was amazing, the views, like, Portugal has everything. Like, the transportation was so easy, the cities were wonderful, they have islands that you can go to that have these crazy mountains and hikes and stuff. I only got to spend like 4 days in Portugal before I spent 10 days in Morocco, but I haven't gotten to like explore as much of Portugal as I'd like to, so I'd like to really go back there. I've been to South Korea, Kuwait, Qatar, Mexico, and Guatemala. Awesome. We did Tulum for our honeymoon, which we had a phenomenal honeymoon, so I'm not saying anything bad about that whatsoever, but I had my heart set on going to Bali, and then we got married in October 2021, so like, the countries weren't all open yet because of COVID and stuff, so we didn't get to go to Bali. So we keep talking about like, maybe for our 10-year anniversary that we'll go to Bali, because that is still very high on my list. I'm very thankful that we do. So Tyler's first time overseas, so he went to Mexico for our honeymoon. That's like when we had to buy his passport and things like that. He went to Canada a few months later. We went to Banff. Another crazy story. Matt Rife, I wanted to see his comedy show so bad. If anyone else tried buying Matt Rife tickets knows that like, he broke Ticketmaster, like it wouldn't work literally. And there was a Canadian show. There's a bunch of Canadian shows, but like, I had always wanted to go to Banff National Park, which is the Canadian Rockies, so it's like kind of like above Montana, like on that side of the country, and I always wanted to go to Banff. Well, he was in Calgary, and I tried to get Calgary tickets because I'm like, okay, like, I'll go to Banff, knock out 2 for 1, and he broke their website too. But their website, unlike Ticketmaster, has a phone number that's like, hey, if you have any technical difficulties, give me a call, and we'll see what we can do. So I give them a call, goes straight to voicemail. Don't hear anything from them, right? Well, 6 hours later, they call me back and they say, hey, so we totally sold out Calgary. However, because of the high demand, we're going to open up a whole nother level of seating. And so we would like to sell you guys 2 tickets. It was like $70 a piece, which is like a fraction of what they were going for in the States. And I said, absolutely. It was like 8 months ahead of time or something like that. And like, so we paid them, and we took it was me and my husband. It was initially just going to be us 2 going to Canada, but Tyler was like, we should bring Easton. Like, it'd be fun. So we brought Easton, but we also then brought my brother, who is, I always joke that he was my first baby. He is 11 years younger than me, and he is 17. So we brought my brother with us too, and he had to get a passport. It was his first time overseas at that point. Not overseas, but it was his first time crossing borders at that point. So my brother came with us and watched Easton for us, so we could go have a date night, so we could go to the Matt Rife show. We did a like stargazing tour, so we watched him so we could do that. So, and he got to go hike mountains and stuff that he's never done before because he got to come with us. So that was an awesome hack. We love my brother. My brother loves my son. My son loves my brother, and it was just like a really cool experience to do that with everybody. So he went to Canada, and then his first trip overseas, Tyler finally like made it like overseas, and he went to Germany, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein with me, on a 10-day trip with a group of 40 people. So that was a wonderful time too. And So it was just like really cool to see him like embrace these other countries, because he really, like, again, when we met, hadn't been out of the Midwest or anything. And so like the fact that he was willing to go overseas and like try it, and the fact that he like really liked it, he fell in love with Switzerland. The Swiss Alps are insane, and like had I not been in the Andes in Peru, like the Swiss Alps would be my favorite. But they're his favorite at the moment. He loves like the snow-capped mountains and stuff, and like there was snow everywhere up there, and we got to ride a cable car to the top, and it was just such an amazing experience. So like I'm really proud of him for embracing that. I'm proud of him for moving states. I never thought that he would move out of Missouri. And so like he loves being out here in Arizona. He loves the thought of our new destination. Funny too, because when we came to Arizona, I've been to Arizona a bunch. It's one of my favorite states in the country. That's why I wanted to move here. But I had never been to this. I'd been to Petrified Forest, but I had never like been in these like rural neighboring towns. So like we didn't quite know what to expect coming out here. But the place that we're going to next, I've been probably 4 or 5 times, and my husband has been once, and we know exactly what to expect now. So we are excited for that. We know what to expect. We know like how far away the grocery stores are. We know that we'll have like more stable utilities because it's a more established campground. We know that he's got a lot of stuff to do. So he's got a lot of stuff to do, which will be good too. So it'll be a really good change of pace for us. No, you cannot have more chocolate chips. This kid has chocolate chips. You want another apple? All right, give mommy 5 more minutes and then I'll go get you an apple. Will you go back and watch TV? You want mommy to throw you back in bed? You don't want me to throw you in bed? Do you want to go play basketball? You want an apple? Okay, let me get this kid an apple real quick. Cooking on the road has been interesting. So we try to go, here you go. You can just eat it like that for now. We try to keep things simple. Like I like to do skillets, I like to do smoothies, I like to do sheet pan meals, we like to do stuff on the grill, just like easy stuff, because again our fridge and freezer and pantry are not that big. And I have been in a huge smoothie phase right now for sure. So being able to just kind of do those things where it's like not a ton of dishes. We have a horrible time keeping up with dishes. In fact, like we're like, hey, this would be a great time to do a live video because we have all the dishes taken care of, and like that's like there's the one chore that we just cannot seem to keep up with very well. So that's one of the reasons why we did the video today.
In bed.
What, buddy?
Mommy, in bed.
You want me to throw you in the bed now? You can't have the apple in the bed. You're gonna make a big old mess. So do you want the apple or do you want to go in bed? Apple.
In bed.
You cannot have the apple in the bed. I see a foot. Easton, do you like living in a camper?
No.
What do you mean no? You love living in this thing. Do you like playing outside?
Boo.
Oh, say boo dada.
Boo.
All right, well, if no one else has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. This has been a great time. Please, if you're watching this later, drop some topics in the comments that you just want to learn more about. I'd be more than happy to address them in another live video. This has been amazing, and we'll see you guys next time. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We just released a line of merchandise. We have shirts and we have enamel coffee mugs. So be sure to do that as well. And other than that, we'll see you next time. I got to figure out how to end this thing because I'm not really sure. But thank you guys for being here, and we will see you soon.